This conference will now be recorded.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Rebecca Smith Aldridge at the Mid-Hudson Library System, and I called this meeting today to help facilitate a conversation and introduction of the Great Give Back to consider whether or not we want to try this statewide. A lot of public library systems were interested in hopping on to the awesome work being done by the Long Island Library Systems. So we're really excited today that Derek Ivy is joining us, who is the chief cook and bottle washer when it comes to the Great Give Back. He's going to give us an intro to what's involved. So for the system people on the line today, I know what I'm listening for is making sure I understand the program and what it's going to take to get my members excited about this, and some tips for organizing work around the October 19th event. I understand that Derek has someone in the room helping them out, so if there's any questions during the discussion, you can pop those into the chat box and we'll make sure we get to them. Towards the end of the presentation, we can certainly open this up so you can ask your questions in person, but we would ask that while Derek is speaking that you might want to mute yourself to cut down on the background noise so that we don't have any distractions while Derek is sharing this very cool program with us. So Derek, if you're ready to go, there's just one more thing I wanted to say and then I'll turn it over to you. That this is really, we're here today very much thanks to the generosity of the Suffolk Cooperative Library System, who is always so generous with sharing their good ideas with the state. And also thanks to the very new roundtable at the New York Library Association, which is called START, the Sustainable Thinking and Action Roundtable. And their president, Claudia Depkin, is with us today as well. We're actually chipping in financially to help underwrite some of the costs associated with making this a statewide program rather than geographically limited to Long Island. So yay, NYLA. So Derek, if you're ready to go, it's all yours.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. Thank you so much, Rebecca, for that introduction. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today and for your interest in this pilot statewide year of the Great Give Back, of course, which will be taking place on Saturday, October 19th. In today's presentation, we're going to be going through a couple of bullet points, the why we started the Great Give Back here, how we started it, some challenges, some costs, the impact, maybe some example programs that have been run, resources that we'll have for you if you're interested in, of course, some next steps. I'm joined in the room today with my counterpart here in Suffolk Cooperative Library System, Darla Salva Cruz. I'm also joined by Jen Fowler, the director of the Savo Library. And via satellite, we'll also be hearing from Renee McGrath, my counterpart in Nassau Library System, and I believe Jamie Papandrea, who is the director of Brookhaven Free Library here in Suffolk County. So, of course, to start off, let us go over the mission statement of the Great Give Back. The mission of the Great Give Back is to provide a day of opportunities for the patrons of the public libraries of New York State to participate in meaningful, service-oriented experiences. And I just want to point out, we have a swanky new logo happening this year, which we're very excited about. The green arrows, which we've come to love and enjoy, have been set out to a lovely farm where they will have great days and pastures. So we are here with this streamlined Great Give Back logo, which you'll see on the website, which we'll present a little later on. So why? Why did we do the Great Give Back? Three reasons. Here in Suffolk County, we have advisory committees. So there is a Youth Services Advisory Committee made up of directors from our libraries that kind of stop in, hear what we're doing, and maybe talk about some next steps or some next projects to work on. And we had one of these Youth Services Advisory Committee meetings in 2016, and one of our members kind of turned to us and said, well, what if we did something all together as a group that kind of harbored some positive light in what's going on in our world today? I think in 2016, many of us were stressed out for many reasons, and just being a human, I think, is stressful. So we kind of had this thought of what's something that we could do that could show the impact that our libraries have in our communities. And one of those things was the Great Give Back. So our three things here you'll see across the screen. The first one is to spotlight what we already do. So I don't know about you all where you are, but my teen librarians here are always clamoring for new ideas for community service. Every single day they are being inundated with requests from tween and teen patrons looking for community service, whether it's for the National Honor Society, the National Music Society, some sort of Boy Scout or Girl Scout thing, or maybe even a religious sacrament. They need these community service hours. So they have tons and tons of community service that they're doing on a daily basis, whether it's a drop-in program, something that's planned, or something bigger. So this was a way for us to kind of show the great work that our librarians are already doing when it comes to community service. The second reason was library as a community hub. As we all know, libraries are continually transforming. They are becoming a community hub, a community center. I think we all come into contact with people who are like, oh, the library, it's just about books. And then we have to say, no, they're not. It's much more than that. You can do so much more at the library. So really, we want to show everything that we do here, that we're connected to so many other things within our communities, that you can come and learn at the library, that you can give back at the library. And so that's the second reason. The third reason is a collective marketing perspective as far as the system is concerned. There are rare times where we're all coming together as a system to show what we can do as one whole county. And so this would give us that opportunity. And then last year, we kind of showed that as an island, we came together to do something, and hopefully now we're moving towards the state. Overall, it's really about positive impact, right? So we're showing that you can come to the library, you can do something great, you can be a part of something wonderful and give back to your community. And even from there, from another system perspective, it's to strengthen the bonds you have with your member libraries. You're going to be interacting with your member libraries a lot, those that are participating. You're going to be getting information from them and talking to them. I know that Darla and myself and even Renee last year, we go out on the day of the Great Give Back. We visit a bunch of our libraries. We meet the patrons. We see some of the wonderful things that our libraries are doing and the amazing resources that they have there and the relations that they have with other community organizations. So from a system perspective, you're really going to be going out there and talking and meeting with your member libraries, and that's always exciting and fun to do. So how did we do it? How did we get it started here in Suffolk County? Well, the first thing I recommend is to create a committee. Like I said, it started through our Youth Services Advisory Committee, and I was lucky enough to have some of those directors come on board with me and Darla to help create the Great Give Back. And on top of that, we even have a few teen librarians that are involved with the Great Give Back, because they're the ones that are going to really be working with the patrons on that day, and that work with the patrons every day. Whereas from a system perspective, we don't get to do that so often. Our member libraries are our patrons. So by having this committee, you bring together a bunch of different minds to kind of facilitate everything that's going on for the Great Give Back. So that was the best thing that I had, was having these great minds come with me in a room and talk about, well, what are we going to do? How do we want to do it? And how are we going to carry this out? And really, the committee work is just the best part of it. You're also getting to talk to people who are in different types of libraries. My directors that I get to work with are in various size libraries with very different communities, so they know what will work for their communities and what won't work. So if you can get a committee together, I say go for it. Now, you want to get your member library directors on board. So we had this great idea, but now how do we tell everyone about it? We have quarterly director meetings here in Suffolk County. So I asked Kevin if I would be able to present to them about this idea, the Great Give Back, and he was very gracious in giving me time at these meetings. I had about 10 to 15 minutes to present this. So what I did was, here you'll see a photo. This is actually of the first presentation that I did about the Great Give Back to our member library directors. And I really came with it with the focus of highlighting the community service that we already do in our libraries. I sent out a survey to my teen librarians asking them in the month of April, because I believe I presented this either at the end of April or the beginning of May, how much community service did you give out in that 1 month's time? And you'll see I say take a look at the numbers. I think something like 308 library programs were offered for community service, with 1,357 patrons being given the opportunity and over 2,000 hours being given out of community service just in 1 month. And this is, of course, just of the librarians that answered the survey. So I'm sure only a fraction of them answered the survey. So this is a small group, but you can see the numbers are large. The community service that we're doing is huge on a weekly to monthly basis, and who even knows by year. So it's to show that we're already doing these projects, and we can all do these projects on one day to kind of spotlight what we're doing and show our community that we're the hub of the community. And of course, there's also the idea of, well, how cumbersome is this going to be for my staff to do? So I introduced the 3 levels of the types of service projects you could do on the day of the Great Give Back. We want to let them know how easy it is. So level 1 is something that you already do within your library. So I mentioned before, so many of our libraries are doing community service. So, maybe you already make no-sew blankets for the local animal shelter, or, you know, cat toys for the local animal shelter, or you already do a food collection, or you already make cards for veterans, well, you could still do that. It'll just take place on the day of the Great Give Back. You know, you're just running that same program that you've done that you know is successful on the day of the Great Give Back, just to show that you're participating as well. The second level is maybe something bigger, multiple hours off-site. So this is a larger project. You'll hear I have something from Sachem Public Library later. They did a lake cleanup. So they partner with a community organization to do a lake cleanup, and this takes place over multiple hours, and you're going outside the building. So it's a little bigger. It's something new. And then the third level involves tons of outside organizations or people, and you're bringing them into the library for all of your patrons to meet, and that'll be maybe a day-long event rather than a couple of hours, and you'll hear about that later from Jen at Sayville. So maybe what are some of the challenges going forward from a system perspective, let's say? So collecting library information before and after the event is something that we've seen is a bit challenging. So you send out the RSVP, people say that they want to participate, and that's great. So you have your list of your libraries that want to participate, but then what are they doing on the day? So of course there's that initial interest that we want to participate, but we're not asking them for the program details just yet. But then later on, when it's getting closer to the event, we're building the website that you'll see later. We're listing the events that everyone's doing. That way the public can see what their local library is doing. And we want to make sure that we're putting the accurate information on that website. So you're going to be doing a lot of emailing, maybe some calling. I know Renee McGrath and Nassau Library System did a lot of calling last year, which was amazing because that's how she got so many libraries on board, because she was making those calls. And through making those calls, not only is she getting the information, but again, she's strengthening her relationship with her member libraries. And of course, the after. So we have this wonderful day. We're doing all these amazing projects. How many hours were given out? How many patrons participated in this? We want to collect that survey information. We want to know that data so we can paint the picture of how great the Great Give Back is. But again, we're sending out a survey. Folks will answer, but not everyone. So you really, again, are trying to stay on top of collecting this information. That's really a challenge, is that we want to be able to have all that data to show the great work that we're doing, but it's just getting people to take the time to fill out those couple of questions. Because they're taking those stats, it's just putting that into the survey that you send out, which is usually a simple Google form. And of course, there are going to be lots of questions, because we hear about this great big day, and we want everyone to do it, but then they're like, how do I do it? And then that's when you come in with those multiple levels, right? You're saying, well, you already do this, right? You already make the placemats for the Meals on Wheels. So just do that day. You already create these amazing baskets for your local animal shelter. We'll just do it on that day. You know, it could be as simple as even putting a box out and saying, we are collecting food for a food drive. You know, it doesn't have to be anything extravagant. We just want to show that all of our libraries are finding some way to participate in this day. So you're going to get a lot of questions about how it's supposed to run. And what we always go back to is that it's super simple to run. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. So that's my answer for you if that comes up. But I'm sure you'll get lots of different questions because everybody has different ideas about what this day will be. Moving on to some costs. So really your main cost is going to be staff time, right? So this is a new project, even from a system perspective. It's like I have someone that's going to be collecting all of this information, that might be making these calls, that might be visiting the libraries on that day. So there's some staff time involved. There are people that are going to be working on this project all the way up until October, and then after October, possibly collecting that data from the libraries. Here in Suffolk County and in Nassau County on Long Island, we did giveaways. The first year in 2017, when it was Suffolk County, we did a simple little waste apron. On one side of the apron, it had the Great Give Back logo, and on the other side, we left it blank so that they can tailor it to whatever they wanted, either the library logo or they can write their names on it. And we sent about 20 of those to each of the participating libraries. Last year, we did these green lanyards here, and we also did a sticker. So the way the lanyards work, again, about 20 of those were sent to each of our libraries. And what we want those to be for are either the teen volunteers that are helping running the day, or maybe the library staff that's also running the day, to show that I'm wearing this lanyard and you can come to me and ask a question. I'm part of the Great Give Back. As far as the stickers are concerned, that's something that was really fun. So the stickers, I believe we sent 100 of them to each of the participating libraries, and that was to give out on the day to any patrons that came through the door to participate in the project. So our idea was that you go in, you do the project, you get the sticker, you wear it on your lapel or your blazer or your jacket or whatever it is, and then you go out into the world and someone says, oh, what is that sticker? What does that mean, I gave back? And then hopefully that patron says, well, I went to my local library and I did this project and I gave back today. So that was the idea behind the sticker. I really like that. We were lucky enough that last year, SCLS, the Suffolk PLDA, and Nassau Library System all gave money towards these giveaways to give out to our participating libraries in the system. Now the impact. So I'm going to invite Jen Fowler up here. I'm at a podium, you don't know that, to talk about the impact that the Great Give Back had on her community.
Hi, everyone. Happy to be here. Thank you, Derek. Okay, so I'm the director of Sayville Library, and my goal for the Great Give Back this past October was to create an environment at the Sayville Library that was organized chaos of benevolence. So you can quote me on that. So we started the day with a community breakfast. And at this community breakfast, we invited all of the local civic organizations, the Kiwanis Club, the Knights of Columbus, the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, the Friends of the Library, any sort of organization, the Rotary Chamber, anybody in Sayville of importance that is sort of a giving back organization. And at the breakfast, so everybody had a table, and they could set up giveaways or what they're doing, you know, out on the table. So patrons can walk around and kind of see what we have to offer in Sayville, because sometimes people really do want to volunteer, but they're not really sure how to get involved. So here's an opportunity for them to kind of interview all the different organizations and see if they want to take it that next step further by joining them. One of the benefits that came out of the breakfast, which was a nice surprise, was that not only were patrons learning about the organizations, but the organizations were learning about other organizations. We had the, I think it was the Historical Society's table was seated right next to a couple of young girls who were doing, it was some kind of organization for teens in need. And who would think that these two organizations would find something in common, but they did, and they were going to do a collaboration together. So that was really wonderful. So we started that, and we ran that for about an hour, hour and a half, lots of attendance at that. So that was the kickoff of the day. We also had a food drive going, and the food drive, back up a minute. Each department, so adult services, children's services, and patron services, which is essentially tech and CERC, were in charge of creating projects. And patron services, the CERC, were really excited because they don't necessarily get to do this sort of stuff, you know, for our patrons. So they were really excited. They organized, the adult services organized a food drive, and we called it, it was a Star Wars theme, and everybody was asked to donate canned goods so that we can build an R2-D2, and you'll see that in the first picture there. And when we have a librarian who has her own green screen, she brought it in. So once you donated your cans, we created this R2-D2, and we had this set up right in our lobby. People could come in and take pictures with Chewbacca and R2-D2, and then they got the photos to take home. So that was really very cute. You can see all the food that we collected there next to Chewbacca in the bottom picture. Going back to patron services, they organized also a show. So it was a magic show that took place in the afternoon, and then the entrance fee was a canned good. So that's how we kind of did a spin on our food drive. The teens volunteers came together to create a car wash, which we had in the front of the library going on for most of the middle of the day. So the kids made signs. It wasn't the best weather, but people came and they did their car wash, and all of the funds raised from the car wash was given to the Friends of the Library. They also had a karaoke machine out there, and the kids were doing karaoke, and some of the adults too. It was just really a very positive and happy atmosphere. Patron services. Now here's what they did. They organized a pet adoption fair. They had 4 organizations come from different areas of Long Island, and they brought cats and dogs, and it was adorable. We had, I think it was 4 or 5 adoptions actually happen, including my board president, which that's his dog right in the middle, the lady holding the dog. Throughout the day, from the entire day, the children's department was doing volunteer stations. So you could just drop in with your kids into the children's room, and there were different tables set up with different activities. And you can see the little pumpkins there that were decorated by our volunteers, and we gave those to one of the senior nursing homes in Sayville. So it was a very jam-packed day. It was a lot of work, but it was so fun. Nobody complained. Everybody was really about this giving back attitude, and I think it was one of the best days I've had so far at Sayville. So I think that's okay. So on to Brookhaven. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. This is Jamie Papandrea, Director of the Brookhaven Free Library, and thank you all for your time, and especially thank you for your interest in joining this awesome initiative. We're so excited. Brookhaven is one of the smaller libraries here in Suffolk County, what you might consider more of a rural area. So we took a little different approach than Sayville due to our size. The first year we actually hosted a teen-centered community service event, and our teens made kits for a local shelter. However, based on feedback that we received, we found that many of our community members were looking for opportunities to do things as a family or things in groups, or adults wanted to help. So that led us to our second Great Give Back, where we hosted a community cleanup, as you can see from the photos there. And I can't stress enough just the invaluable time as a director that this opportunity allows you to spend with not only your community members, but your staff. I agree with Jen that it's one of the best days that you have, and it really just is awesome and brings a smile to your face. I also love seeing the creativity and the individuality that each library brings to it, and I hope that you're getting a sense of that now as you hear what we have to say. The other sort of funny note was our community is what some would probably describe as a pretty clean community. And that day, as I was driving to work, I looked around the blocks, kind of panicked, thinking, oh gosh, are we going to have enough to clean up? Kind of getting a little worried. But we cleaned up over 40, 45 very large black trash bags full of garbage. And everyone who participated that day walked away feeling really good. And I think that that's another wonderful thing that this event allows you to do. So that is it from Brookhaven.
Thanks, Jamie. And Darla, like I said, Darla and myself, we kind of make the rounds on this day and visit some of our member libraries. And so at Sayville, it was amazing how widespread it was throughout the library. I got to pet a puppy, so that was really exciting. I started my day at Brookhaven, Darla and myself. I got this awesome green vest. I did not keep it, but I wanted to. So, I mean, there are just so many fashion things that are involved in this. There's T-shirts happening. So, I mean, if you want to come from it from that perspective, that's also very exciting. But really what was great about being at Brookhaven was that it was a drizzly day. It was raining. It was cold. These teens did not care. These tweens did not care. They were traipsing through the mud. They were going into the brambles. They were going into the woods. They'd come out with, like, deflated basketballs and soccer balls, and just, it was insanity. And we'd be like, where are they going? Oh no, they're just picking up more trash. It was awesome how into it they were, and really the amazing work that they did. And what was even more fun was seeing some of the parents of these teens that were like, all right, we're going to take them over here. They were driving them there. They were taking extra garbage bags. They were driving them all around and also being part of the cleanup. I was also in the group that Darla and I were in. There was just a local community member, an adult, who just wanted to really be involved and clean up his community. So he came that day. Everyone was involved in this, which was really, really exciting. So next up is Sachem, who they did Lake Ronkonkoma cleanup. So they did this 2 years in a row. So Kara Perry, who is all the way on the left in this photo, she is the teen librarian over there at Sachem, and she kind of spearheads a lot of their community service that they do. And so she sent me this statement that I'm going to share with you now. Sachem coordinated this project with the Lake Ronkonkoma Improvement Group, a local organization dedicated to cleaning and revitalizing Lake Ronkonkoma. The person in charge of the LRIG also happens to be involved with the Lake Ronkonkoma Historical Society, which is how Kara connected with her. The library developed a deeper relationship with the Historical Society when they renamed the local history room for Lillian DeVere, who oversaw construction of the Lake Ronkonkoma Free Library over 100 years ago. Kara needed to coordinate with the LRIG because any cleanup projects at the lake need to be approved by the New York State DEC, and they may be present during the cleanup, and they did in fact show up for Sachem's first event. They had very clear guidelines as to what can be removed from the lake. Anything man-made can go. No natural material can be removed. They are concerned with maintaining the natural environment of the lake. The event requires coordination well ahead of time to ensure that a cleanup event is either on schedule or can be done, as the LRIG is comprised entirely of volunteers. Patrons of all ages are welcome to attend, although children under the age of 11 must be accompanied by an adult. The LRIG provides buckets and grabbers, although the library can also bring some if they like. Kara brings Sachem Library ponchos, because it always seems to rain on the date of the Great Give Back. The Great Give Back t-shirts that you see there, water and hand wipes, and gives them to anyone in need. The event includes volunteers from the library, the LRIG, and other organizations like the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. And at the beginning of the event, a representative gives instructions and guidelines to participants. It runs from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. They like to do this event because it is hands-on and provides an immediate benefit to our community. They always get positive feedback from participants and the organization. People and the teens really seem to enjoy helping out. Darla and I were able to do this one the first year. So, you know, again, for me, it's about the fashion. So I got a poncho, blue poncho, which is really exciting. But again, it's that satisfaction of being there and, you know, you're picking up this garbage that's on this lake and you're seeing your garbage bags fill up and you're seeing the great things that you're doing for your community. The first year we did it, they found an entire barbecue that had to be thrown out. So that was exciting. I don't know about you, what a treasure. But unfortunately, we could not use it. It was dilapidated and disgusting. But moving on from there, let us go to our neighbors in Nassau County. Renee?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you, Derek. I don't have any fashion tips, unfortunately, but I will be talking about, and thank you so much to my friends in Suffolk for inviting Nassau the second year to join you. It has been my pleasure, and all of our libraries have really enjoyed the Great Give Back and are looking forward to this year as well. I wanted to point out two of our libraries who did, we never got to a level 3 yet, but I'm hoping with enough planning this year, some of them will go to do something like Sayville, the amazing program there. So in 2012, Island Park was devastated by Superstorm Sandy and was closed for many months. And in their process of rebuilding, they received these stars of hope from people across the country. And they're still hanging in their library today. It boosted their spirits in a time when, you know, it was really very difficult, not only for the library, but for many, many residents of the community. And so when I proposed the Great Give Back last year, and thankfully Jen Fowler from Sayville came and spoke to our directors to give them, you know, an idea of what went on. Thank you, Jen, again. Jessica, the director of Island Park, knew right away that she wanted to give back to a community that had experienced a natural disaster like they did, and how much it meant to them. So she thought of these Stars of Hope, which is an organization that was formed in 2007, and it started with two families, one of which that was devastated by 9/11 and had received a lot of support from people all around the world, and they wanted to give back. So Stars of Hope is an organization that you can partner with and receive these kits. You have to pay for them, but you can receive you'll see that on the screen, the kits, and you can designate a community that you'd like to partner with and send the Stars of Hope to. Okay, next slide.
Yeah, right.
So the next slide is Rockville Center. And what they did all month long before the actual day in October, they collected birthday party kit materials like cake mix and frosting and candles and balloons, party hats, things like that. And then on the day of the Great Give Back, teens and children came to the library and they assembled the kits, and they made, you can see the young boy here is making a birthday card to help families in need celebrate birthdays. The kits were donated to the Mary Brennan Inn in Hempstead. It's a soup kitchen that does a lot more than just provide food. But what I found out after, a couple of our libraries did this kind of thing, and there's a organization that's called Birthday Wishes, and it's a local charity with a mission to provide birthday parties to children experiencing homelessness. So I had never thought about, a child not being able to celebrate a birthday as with a birthday party because they can't either afford it or don't have a home. So this was something that the kids absolutely loved. I was here in Rockville Center, and it just gave them a really good positive feeling to do something like this. And that's it from Nassau County. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Renee. I think I love both of these examples here. Island Park, it was something that was very personal to them. So they experienced something and they wanted to pass that forward. For Rockville Center, this is kind of a newer idea as far as community service. This is something that we're seeing come up more recently, and that's exciting to see too, that there are more and more ways to give back to local community organizations. So that's it for the impact from both of the counties here on Long Island. So next we're going to go into the resources that we would have if you wanted to participate in this pilot statewide year. So I'm going to turn it over to Darla Salva Cruz, who is going to show you the website and the Google Drive that we have set up.
Hi, everybody. So I just want to take you on a real quick tour of our website and the resources that are made available to libraries participating in the Great Give Back. So first, I'm just going to click over to our website. We have it all updated with our brand new logo. And so this is a public-facing website. You're going to be sharing this with your patrons. It's going to be a resource for your librarians in case folks from outside your community are asking how they can participate. It's also something that we can share with local and regional media, and just another way to get the word out. So the main part of the website is the Find a Participating Library feature. Just real quick, as you see, the homepage is a blog. We do update it with posts as the Great Give Back gets closer, and then once it's passed, we'll probably do some sort of a countdown this year and maybe a little bit more highlighting the fact that we've grown so much. But the main part folks are going to be using is Find a Participating Library. Now, in the past, this was fairly simple, so we've been doing a lot of thinking about the best way to incorporate our potential new participants. So the way we've got it structured right now, and with your feedback, we can discuss if this needs to change. But we have it broken down by counties. So we had gotten interest from, I believe, 11 library systems. So just to show you what it could look like with all of those systems participating, we listed all the counties found in those systems. So a patron could say, well, I live in Montgomery County. We made a page for each library system, and it lists what counties are at the top in case they don't know the name of their library system. And then there's just a little blurb saying that more information is coming soon. What would it look like once a library has signed on to participate? I will show you. We saved the Suffolk County information from last year. So as you see, we listed each participating library. If you were to click on the library's name, take you to their website. And then if the library wanted to share information on their programs, we listed it just under their name. If it was a specific date and time, we listed all of that. And then in addition, just to give another way to look at it, all the way down here, we create a map. And it's just kind of another tool to see where participating libraries are. We're also going to have a map that shows everybody who's participating. This is going to change, but right now we just included those library systems that indicated interest. We're not going to leave your system addresses up, but we just wanted to give you an idea of what it could look like. There's an About page, which is a great little resource if people ask you on the fly what the Great Give Back is about. Here we have a sponsors page. Right now we have our NILA Start Roundtable. But if you have local organizations that come on to participate and sponsor your system, or even individual libraries, we would encourage everyone to pass those on to us, and we would list them on this page. Over the past 2 years of having the Great Give Back, we've had some great coverage from local media, so we list all of that here. And again, we would share anything that came through the line from around the state, and then we'd be posting photos as well. You can just get an idea what it will look like. And then there's a simple contact form. So that's our website. So this is the public-facing content. Then we'll also be making available a drive, a Google folder, to all the libraries that sign on. And this is just resources to make your life a little easier. We have the main thing I think that's useful. We made a set of templates in Microsoft Word, just something to make it easier to put out a flyer. This is something you might put in a Lucite holder or print out a stack of and bring to, a PTA meeting or leave out on a table in your library. You can kind of see what it looks like. It's all customizable. And then when we were making these, we also thought, well, the black logo, it's very classy looking, but what if you have a more exciting design going? We've made templates in many colors of the rainbow, so you can choose what you like the most. And then again, we made our logo available to you in JPEG and also PNG, which is transparent, so you can paste it on top of things, again, in that rainbow of colors. Now, down here at the bottom, we'll be adding more of these kinds of things as we go, but we've made some form letters for you. We have 2 sponsor request forms, so if you wanted to reach out to a local business, either to sponsor your library, you would use the individual sponsor letter, or if you knew of an organization you think could support you on a system level or even a state level, we've made a letter for that. We're going to be adding more of those kinds of things as we go on. We have a list of program ideas that you can share with your librarians just to help them get their creative juices flowing. And finally, just a little info sheet that you can share, and this could help you get buy-in with your local libraries. And that is it. Thanks, everyone.
So really what we have are, what are the next steps? So if you are interested in taking part in the Great Give Back on October 19th, email me. My email is derek@suffolknet.org. What we need from you at the system level right now is, who is your point person going to be? Who's your Great Give Back representative for your system? So whether it's you and you're emailing me letting me know, or it's not you but you're emailing me saying, well, it's going to be this person, I would need their name, their email address, and that would be it. Once we know that you're interested, what we'll send you is this quick RSVP form. So what Darla has done is that she has built an RSVP form for each of the systems. So we want to be able to clearly see what libraries on our end, since we'll be updating the website and the maps, we need to know which member libraries in your systems will be participating. So each system that participates will receive its own RSVP form. Now, I didn't mention this before, but when I gave my first presentation at that first member directors meeting, I handed out paper RSVP forms, and some of them filled it out that day. They knew exactly the person who was going to be handling it, and that was it. You could do something similar to that and then fill in this form with those names, or if you're doing it electronically, you could share this out with your member libraries, of course, after you've explained what the Great Give Back is. If you wanted us to share this presentation with you to kind of help give you ideas, to see what you'd want to pull from this, to give examples to your member libraries, we would happily do that. On the resources page that Darla showed you just before, there was that one that had service ideas. There was another one that called What is the Great Give Back? That explains the 3 different levels that I went through at the beginning of this presentation, along with 2 examples, one from Suffolk County, one from Nassau County, just to also be able to hand that out as well. Because I think when this goes out to your member libraries, it feels cumbersome in the beginning, but it really isn't, especially depending on whatever level you want to participate on. So that is it from the Long Island team. Do we have any questions out there? Okay, we have one question. see. I'll find the chat box here.
It won't pop up for me.
So can you give me an idea of the budget for goodies per library that you budgeted for the lanyard, the stickers, etc.? So we did not ask our member libraries to contribute monetary value into the goodies. I believe between the three systems for the stickers and the lanyards, we paid about $3,000 in total. So we split it evenly between Nassau, Suffolk, and the Suffolk PLDA.
The lanyards, we did lanyards. These are from last year's staff development day. I have the order somewhere. The recesses of my memory.
Hi, Derek. One thing that came to mind that I'd like to add, if it's okay. Yeah, so I had a couple of libraries that the Saturday of Great Give Back is the Sabbath, and they could not participate on that day. The community is strictly, Hasidic or very religious. And we were okay with them doing it either on that Sunday or Friday. So really, I want to stress how open and easy this program really can be. There aren't any set, amazing rules that you have to follow. And we made it as, inclusive as we could.
Renee, thank you so much for making that point. That is so true. We have some libraries that are already doing some festival, or like she said, it's the Sabbath. So please feel free to work anywhere near or around that. We've even had libraries that did it the week before. Just a follow-up question that Lori had was, how many libraries did that $3,000 cover? It covered 107 libraries across Long Island. Another point that I want to mention is that as far as those RSVP forms are concerned, you will also have access to those forms to see which of your member libraries are participating and have answered that RSVP. We have another question. Do you have a dateline for libraries to participate? We really don't stress anything. We really roll on the member libraries timeline. In library land, you're planning for summer reading in December, and then you're planning for fall at the beginning of summer reading. So we know for a lot of our libraries, we'd like to plant the seed as early as possible because we want them to be able to have the idea and the project ready for their fall newsletter, which they're usually creating in the summer. And as far as from us, letting us know as soon as possible is great, but we're never going to turn anybody away. We could always add another page to the website if somebody new comes on.
We'll probably, as we get a little bit closer, set a quote-unquote deadline, but we've never turned a library away who decides they want to participate at the last minute or just forgot to let us know. It's more just to encourage people to get their information into us because sometimes, you need a deadline to keep things along. Another quick note, when we were talking before about not having to participate on the day of, forgive me if this did get mentioned, but some libraries also do extended events, so they might do collection drives for the whole month or, food for fines, something like that, and we're happy to include those on the website as well.
I always say, I think that deadline is nice just because I always feel bad for my librarians when I call them up and I say, hey, it's Derek, so we're waiting for that information. That annoying call when you're sitting at your desk dealing with 10,000 patrons and then Derek from System calls you asking for something. It's probably the worst part of most of their days. Does anybody have any other questions?
Make it over to the hotel.
Derek and Darla, Jen and Lisa, this was so cool. I just want to thank you for all the work that you put in before today to get us organized and create that framework for really making it possible to be successful as a state on this. I think you just knocked about 14 things off my to-do list with the work that you did before today. So I personally want to say thank you. And I see Claudia in the chat box, who's the new president of the START Roundtable, saying thanks also. This is so cool. And I think providing an awesome platform for us to really amplify what people think about libraries and understand us and the role we play in our communities in a new way. So I think I'm echoing what everyone on this call is feeling, which is a big old thank you to you guys right now. It's really very awesome of the work that you did right now.
We're so grateful for this opportunity, and we're so excited to see the Great Give Back grow. It's such a wonderful program, and the more the merrier, honestly. We really hope that people are interested because we're giving back. There's nothing better than that.
My calendar as the
All right, that's cool. I'll follow up on the Plisdo list with links to this recording and the 2 to-do items that Derek gave us, along with Derek's email address, so everyone has that. And once again, Derek, just thank you so much, and Darla, for all the work you did to get us to today. I'm so excited.
We're excited too. Thanks so much.